Welcome, ladies and gents, to another Voice of Nick Tokyo stream. I'm hanging out in Shinjuku tonight, or at least that's the plan so far. It's currently 7:30, so there's plenty of night to go still. We're kind of walking through, I call it Hotel Alley, but it's Shinjuku has a lot of love hotels in it. In this particular area has a lot of them in a row, so you're gonna see a lot. You can tell, recognize a love hotel based on the pricing. There's always like a rate for staying the night or staying for like a couple hours, and they also always have really gaudy, sort of like high concept exteriors. Kind of cool to look at. Like, I appreciate the architecture of them. Yeah, like the interior is really gaudy as well, like high concept themed rooms and stuff. Here's another one, 3 hours and 30 minutes for $25. I don't know why it's not important to the stream itself, but an interesting Tokyo fact, I guess. I guess the concept, the reason why they have so many of these is because, like, in Japan, the walls are so thin that, you know, you don't bring somebody back to your house, to your girlfriend or whatever, you go to a love hotel instead. Different culture. Definitely like two major things that you start to notice cropping up at night in Shinjuku. One is all the love hotels turn on and become very hard to miss because they're all lit up with like a million like really flamboyant lights, and you know, like this one's got like it's lit up pillars and stuff. Number two, my brother and I call them the barkers. The people who try to get you to come into their club. They all come out. They'll probably already be out by now. They start coming out around like 6 o'clock. And because I'm very clearly a gaijin, a foreigner, they hound me. Maybe not if they see I have a camera. But until they see that, you're gonna hear the classic line. Here's another hotel. The classic line is like, you guys go like, hey buddy, hey buddy, hey buddy. So we'll see how many hey buddies we get. Yeah, they all want to try to get you to come into their place and have a drink at like whatever club they're promoting, and then it ends up costing like a lot of money for the drink. My first time in Japan, me and my friends got, you know, roped into one of those. And it's, you know, it wasn't like a bad, I've heard of really bad experiences abroad where people get charged like thousands of dollars for being in a place, and then it's like, they're like threatened with violence if they don't go to a bank and, you know, take out the money and pay them or whatever. Like, that didn't happen. It was like we got upcharged like 200%. And we were like, okay, this is like an expensive lesson of what not to do. But it's really aggressive because they obviously get people who are, you know, really good at sort of like being pushy to do that job. And Japan in general is not a very like pushy culture. So like, it's very out of place to see, but it's a classic part of Shinjuku. So I say all that so that you can, if I had a counter, we could do a counter thing on the stream, but you can keep count in your head. Yeah, Shinjuku, however, is like sort of, in my opinion, kind of like the hub of Tokyo. Kabukicho, the area we're in, is like a kind of like a red light district, but I like it because it has all the good bars and arcades. Oops. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. I keep having to check if the sound works because we had that weird sound issue before. I don't know what caused that. Yeah, you can see these information centers. It's funny because like learning how to speak the language has also helped me with a lot of things that were very mysterious at first. Like these places, I was like, what the hell is this? Information center or whatever. But being able to read the sign, it seems like, I mean, I've never gone in one, but it seems like it's a place where like basically you're getting like tips of like where to go to have a good red light district kind of a time. Obviously that's not really what we're what we're interested in, but there sure are a lot of clientele for that kind of stuff. And hey, good for that, you know, whatever floats somebody's boat, right? Did I see a 509? Yes, I did. Welcome, 509 Broncos. I'm really sorry to hear about your trip plans getting pushed back. I hope that everything works out in terms of like making it happen in general. But yeah, 509 Broncos was planning to go to Tokyo at the same time as me actually, but the trip is delayed now, unfortunately. But enjoy. You can get some maybe pointers of like where to go from this one, from the stream. I mean, I wish my trip didn't get pushed back. Oh, there you go. Have a great trip. How's the food been? Oh, excellent. I've been trying to find like little sort of hole-in-the-wall places, which is my favorite type of Tokyo food to get. But I've ended up going to 3 different. Usually I don't really like to go to ramen when I'm in Tokyo because it's so filling, you know, it's like a whole meal, and I prefer to just like sort of like the equivalent of bar hop but with food, where I would just eat like an appetizer and move on. But I found 3 different spicy ramen places in these like 3 days that I've been here so far, so I keep filling up on ramen, which hey, there's worse things to do, right? I don't know what this is. There's hey, there was another guy making a video where he was doing it in Chinese, I was doing it in English. Multicultural. Look at this lit up little alleyway here. What is this? Why is it so lit? Yeah, to you, advice, Broncos, if you do go to Shinjuku, which is, I love this area. It's very like, probably the part of Tokyo you'd want to go to the most if you want, oh, this is Robot Restaurant. The part of Tokyo you'd want to go to the most if you want to be culture shocked. It's probably the most different from the US that you can possibly get. Because it's sort of like going to Times Square where it's like, whoa, you know, there's like all these lights and all these people, and it's very impressive to be here. I'm sure you can see what I'm talking about in the video too. But my tip is you got to watch out for the people trying to get you to go to their clubs, because they're very, very aggressive if you're out at night and you look like you're not from here. Because yeah, I get hounded. It's like you almost want to go into a, like imagine like if it's a rainy day and you just like go into somewhere because you got to get out of the rain. That's kind of how it works with like getting away from the club promoters at night in Shinjuku. So that's the one downside of this area. See what I'm saying? Do you find that if you keep moving and stick to yourself, you're left alone? No. If you're alone in particular, that's when they're like, if you're a guy and you're alone is really the two criteria, because they're obviously trying to promote like clubs where, you know, men are going to be the number one clientele, I guess. So yeah, it's like New York City. Like you just have to like not make eye contact, don't say anything, just like keep walking. But you will be like consistently, and they'll follow you like down the street too. I don't mean to start it out by like making it seem like, oh, you know, what a terrible place. Like that's a very small aspect, but it's my number one tip, I guess, if you go to this part of Tokyo. So this is like the big sort of tourist, like Times Square-ish area of Shinjuku. They call it Godzilla Alley. And the reason for that is, if you look up there, you got Godzilla sitting up on top of that building. I don't know if you can see him with the wide-angle lens, but on the hour, it's currently 7:37 right now, but on the hour, every hour at night, Godzilla like lights up and roars, and his mouth turns blue like he's shooting fire, and they start playing all the Godzilla music and stuff. It's a really fun thing to experience. I don't really have an objective of what I want to do right now. I'm just sort of walking around. Yeah, and Bronco's saying it looks like Times Square. It is like, I would describe this or Shibuya as like the Times Square of Tokyo. I was just in Shibuya last night, which is Shibuya is one of the ones you see a lot in like movies. It has that famous sort of like traffic crossing where it's got like the most people crossing the street at the same time or something in the world. And it's just like a lot of fun bars and stuff to go to. See, this is another Gigos thing. I think Sega, I don't think they were bought by whatever this Gigo is. I think they created like a parent company. Because when I was at this Gigo yesterday, playing that game on my Instagram stories, if anybody's seen it, the game where it's like high school girls who are anthropomorphic battleships, which is really fun. I love that game. But when I was at that club, or that game center, the QR code I scanned brought me to a Sega website. So I'm pretty sure it is still a Sega-owned thing. Because yeah, like Club Sega was always kind of the big, sort of like famous arcade in Tokyo. Let's go towards Golden Guy. Oh, Bronco's saying, what's the best meal you've had? The best meal? Oh man, I don't know. Today I went to my favorite ramen place in the world, which is, I couldn't read it until this year actually. It's got like really difficult handwritten text, so I was never able to read it, but me and my brothers knew it as like the spicy ramen place. But as it turns out, it is called Hell Tantan Men. So appropriately named. It's the spiciest singular food I've ever eaten, and it is, every time I go here I have to get it, of course, and every time I get it I get put out of commission. For like today I got it at like 11 a.m. I had to go back to the hotel room, like lay down for like probably 2 hours, just take it easy. I bought some stuff for my stomach, like it hurts me every time I eat it, but I gotta eat it. Because like you're in Tokyo, right? So yeah, that's my favorite. There's a lot of really good, if you're talking about like meals though, there's a great place, I don't remember where it is, maybe Shibuya, that you should look up if you want to have, especially if you're with a group. It's a really fun experience. It's called, I think it's called like the Ninja Restaurant, and it's basically like, you'll have to figure out what the name is, or if I can ask around and figure out what it was. Somebody else brought me to it, so I didn't really know where I was going. But it's like you get there and there's just like a maitre d' stand and walls all around, and it's like, well, where do we go? And then when they like check you in, one of the walls opens. It's like a secret compartment, and a ninja comes out and brings you to your table, and it like expands into like a sort of like hidden Japanese, you know, Warring States era, you know, like 1600s Japan, like hidden village, where they serve you like a 10-course meal. It's real. That's like a very, if you're like want to get like a sort of, you know, very unique singular meal, and not cheap, but you know, certainly worth it. Yeah, that's probably like experience-wise the most fun meal that I've had. Bronco saying, I know you love the heat. Yeah, I just can't stay away from it. They have a lot of these bars here that are called girls bar or a snack, or you know, like sometimes like a karaoke bar too. You basically see a girl like outside of it sort of advertising for it. They're like it's kind of an interesting concept. It's basically just a regular bar. It's not illicit. It's like a regular bar where they just like assign you a girl or a guy to like have conversations with you and like just have a good time. And I've never been to one, but it's like a really interesting subculture because there's a lot of them. I mean, we just passed like 20 of them in this last like 2 minutes. It's there's a lot of paradigms here that they just don't have in the US. Oh, now we're passing this again. I'm gonna go through here. This Session Photographic Studio, I wonder if this is the same thing that we did in Yuga Gotoku. Cool. I've noticed that a lot of the guys who are standing outside the clubs, and you can see them like looking for people to, you know, draw in. They have left me alone this time, probably just because they saw the camera. Yeah, that guy actually right there was remarking about my camera to his friend in another language. So yeah, I think I found the kryptonite of club promoters. Maybe I should just wear this thing even when I'm not streaming. Wow, what a great Tokyo hack. All right, I know you Broncos know a thing or two about cameras. That's my other Tokyo hack. Bring a shoulder-mounted camera, put it on your shoulder, and nobody says anything to you. If you're in Shinjuku, that is. Other districts, they don't really do that. Where the heck is Golden Guy? I think I passed it. Golden Guy. Oh, it's right here. 190 meters. Okay, it's this way. I knew it was close. I haven't been to Golden Guy this trip. Golden Guy means like a golden road. It's like a or golden street or whatever. It's a little strip of bars that are like very small, very personal. To be honest, I don't know if I'm going to be let in with a webcam or whatever, but we'll see what happens. How are you doing otherwise, Broncos? What's going on with you? Oh, this place. A guy that I met just told me about that place. It's like a Scottish food called Abbott's Choice. I came to Tokyo and I keep eating like non-Japanese food. Like we went to a Peruvian place on one stream. I went to an Italian place. But it's obviously like a very cosmopolitan city. Where it's like, yeah, like the US, where it's like, you know, there's not just like one type of food that you want to get. And there's very good multicultural food here too. It's not just like they have like crappy little places. The Italian place I went to was like really good. Oh, here we go. You just saw it in action right there, or maybe you heard it. Our friend peddling his wares. I can't believe I found the kryptonite. I found the kryptonite. One coin bar champion. All these places are little tiny bars with like 4 seats in them. Very popular with foreigners, but also probably not going to like me bringing a camera. So I would just stop the stream if people don't want me to do it, because I don't want to be like disrespectful. But we'll see. Because it is such a foreigner-focused place, they might be fine with it. Bronco's saying a Jim Beam distillery in Tokyo. I didn't see. Did they have that? Oh, you know what? Yes, Jim Beam is owned actually by Suntory, the Japanese whiskey brand. I knew that for some reason. They like bought Jim Beam, which is funny because you think of it as like such an American, you know, an American mainstay. Ron was saying the travels would have taken you to Shizuoka Prefecture. Oh, I've never been. Cool. Well, if you're still going, definitely let me know, because yeah, I've never been there. I don't know where would be good or bad, but let's just walk into this one. Oh, 失礼します。外人ですけど、大丈夫ですか？はい、どうぞ。このカメラ大丈夫ですか？僕の顔までポイントします。ああ、こっち側にってことですか？そして角に多分角にポイントします。ああ、ちょっと待って。オーナーに聞いてみます。オーナー聞いてみます。ああ、わかった。もしもし。なんか今お客さんでなんかこう自分が飲んでるところと撮りたいみたいなんですけど、いいですかって。よってわかんないんですけど、違います。感じはいい人ですよ。今いないです。大丈夫。はい。いらっしゃいました。帰りました。ゆうさんいないならいいって。あ、しました。あ、そうです。はい、そうです。はい。そうです。よくわかんない感じです。そうです。
あ、わかりました。はい。大丈夫だって。
大丈夫ですか？ありがとうございます。失礼にしたくなかった。
ありがとうございます。
これビールがあるか？はい。ビールお願いします。ケニーさんの名前は？
私はゆうこです。
ゆうこ。
Yes。
ゆうこさん。
はい。
ニックです。
もうワンモア。
僕ニック。
ニック。
ニック。
ああ。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。はい。旅行ですか？
そう、旅行です。
おお。
はい、呼吸の開けるのアナウンスの時に、
はい、
すぐにチケットを買った。
ああ、そうなんですね。出身はどちらなんですか？
アメリカのロス。
ロス、
行ったことがありますか？
あります。
すごい。
ありますよ。もうでも、maybe 10 years ago、10年前ぐらいです。
で、どこに行きましたか？
私はロサンゼルスのビバリーヒルズにホームステイしました。
そうですか。楽しい。ビバリーヒルズはいいですね。
セーフティーだ。
This camera tripod's on its last legs. It doesn't stay anymore. I gotta go to a hardware store and get a screwdriver to fix it. So sorry about the camera angle. これ深夜食堂の技術ですか？
お店ではないですけど、深夜食堂の作家さんが来ます。
作家さん、そうですか。
書いてる人が飲みに来てます。
すごい。
だからこれが主人公とメインキャラクターと、うちのママのドライングしてくれて。
それすごい。
はい、これもそうだし、あっちには写真ある絵もそういっぱいあります。
アメリカには、その番組は、とても、人気になりました。
本当ですか？ドラマですか？そうです。だから彼のボトルも入ってます。安倍さんの。
そうですか。
はい、作者さんの。
このポスター、
はい、
ライトニングついてのミュージカルですか？
そうですね。
いろんなミュージカルですか？全部？
そうです。
店長さんはミュージカルが大好きですか？
これはポスター貼りカンパニーっていうカンパニーがあって、いろんなお店にポスターを貼る会社があるんです。
分かっています。
はい。その人たちが貼ってるので、うちのお店で貼ってるのは一番あっちの芸者さんのポスターのみです。一番奥のやつ。下田の芸者。
下田。
一番奥の芸者のポスターのみです、ね。
分かった。はい。ハロウィンのお菓子がありますね。いいですね。
お通しも出ます。スモールフード、お通しインクルーズで。
いいです。そして、日本には、子供が、ハロウィンのトリコトリートしませんですか？
大人がコスプレして。
わかった。たくさん外人ですか？そんなこと。
日本人です。
そうですか。
はい。みんな日本人がコスプレして街を
すごい。深夜食堂の人、来るの前、
はい、
店長さんはもう、ファンだったか？
漫画家さんになる前からのお客さんでした。だからもともとの知り合いで漫画を描き始めた。だから後にスタートした漫画。
そうですか。
はい、
すごい。
もう35周年。
そうですか。
はい。なのですごい昔からのお友達なんです、ママと。
いろんな人はこのコミックから、来ますか？
来ると思います。
そうですか。
この街が舞台になってステージだから結構その安倍さんのこうネタを探しに来ます。そうストーリー探しに聞きにみんなに最近どうみたいな How do you feeling? って聞かれます。最近面白いのあったかなってみんなで喋ります。
So not only has the person from Midnight Diner been here, but it was based partly on this place, which I didn't realize that when she said it before. Okay, good. Yeah, this way. That's crazy. If anybody's seen Midnight Diner, the Netflix show is really popular now. If you haven't seen it, it's really great. But yeah, so the thing is based partly on this bar. Oops. Welcome Stoic Gaming to the show. We're in Shinjuku, Tokyo.
ありがとうございます。ハロウィーンのお菓子だ。
Halloween Golden Guy? Yes.
一緒かな。
It's called Stoic Gaming.
わかんない。
おいしい。
美味しいよかったです。
コーヒーのなんかセールみたいなのやってたらしい。
はいはい。
めちゃめちゃ混んでる。
なんと。
How are you doing, Stoic Gaming? What are you up to lately? I got my camera's tilted at the moment because my tripod is on its last legs again. I go through these things like I don't even know what, like something that you throw away really fast. So Stoic saying it looks small and intimate like the Yakuza. Yeah, so this is in right Yakuza version of it, so you know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's exactly like the Yakuza version. Oh, Stoic's chilling in bed in the early morning. Oh, okay, so you're probably on the east coast of Canada then, right? Because I think in LA, I'm pretty sure it's like really late at night. I want to say maybe it's like 5 something for you, unless you're up really early in the morning. In Tokyo, it's currently 8 o'clock.
玉ねぎと玉ねぎ入ってる。玉ねぎとバターとコンソメとなんかちょっとだけ人参入れた。そんな色々入ってるんだ。はい。でも
I was doing it's the opposite of your time plus 1 hour. Okay, yeah.
かぼちゃと牛乳だけのやつを、その三國シェフのやつを作ったら美味しいけど。
I guess last time I checked the clock, yeah, you're right. Yeah, 7 a.m. Okay. Well, obviously you're right, but yeah, it's I guess I haven't checked the clock since like 5 o'clock New York time.
リュウジの方をやってます。リュウジのは大体玉ねぎが入っててっていうやつだったからそっちをやってるんだけど、なんかなんていうのかな、付け合わせとして食べるにはそのかぼちゃだけのやつでもいいけど、なんかあれをメインとして食べるならコンソメ入ってる方がいいなって思う。
しっかりしてる。
あ、高地さん、ようこそ。How long have you been in Tokyo? I thought you were in NA. Yeah, I just came on vacation like 3 days ago. So I am in North America. I'm in Los Angeles is where I normally am. But yeah, I bought a ticket to Tokyo as soon as the rumor of the announcement of it opening back up happened. So I'm here now with like no plan, like super last minute, which is the way I actually love to do vacations, because it's like you can just discover random stuff. 居酒屋ですかね。うん。ゴールデン街、新宿のゴールデン街。当人さんはどうですか？今。
なんかこの間ジェネシスの版権全部売ったんですよね。ブリコリーズ。もう無理じゃないですか。いつでもいい。
So it's gonna wait until 2024. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a year of people like making a mad dash for it. I think I got in before the mad dash because it's like so soon that nobody else has really been able to like mobilize quick enough to plan a trip. But then yeah, for the maybe like after the holiday through 2023, it's probably gonna be really crowded with foreigners, and then yeah, 2024 is probably a good idea. But anytime you go is great. I mean, I wouldn't hold off just because of that. これは初めてこの旅行にだけどいろんなテレビゲームで見た。We're gonna go to March next year, but right, exactly, yeah, that's like the big foreigner time. But maybe there would be more foreigners in like, I don't know where that stuff happens, like those, you know, cherry blossom trees and stuff, but probably not in like Tokyo. So maybe if you like planned it where you went where people aren't, you could still kind of be less crowded. But yeah, I mean, even if you go when it's crowded, I'm sure it's, I've never been while it's crowded. I always go in October. Not by design, but it just happened that way. I've been 4 times. Every time was in October or like early January. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how crowded it gets, but like, I've been here on Halloween when it's like really packed with foreigners, you know, in costume. And it's not bad. I mean, it's kind of cool that way too. So I wouldn't, I mean, you know, I wouldn't say you have to wait if you don't want to. But yeah, it sounds like a good plan. So, you know, give you some time to kind of plan your trip and everything. So you're trying to learn kanji up your vocab, but you can pronounce the kana. You went to Tokyo for a month. Oh wow. And then Nara and Osaka. That's a hefty trip. I've never been for a month. That's really cool though. This trip is only for a week, and most of my trips have been for 2 weeks. And I mean, any length of time, it's like how Shrek describes the onion. You know, like you can keep going past, finding more layers. So yeah, like a month or a year or 10 years, like, you know, like any length of time, you'll never get bored of it, or at least I wouldn't. So yeah, definitely.
つける？
Definitely, you're gonna find a million amazing things to do. 私はそのねないので、そのお宮さんは教えることができないの。残念なんだけど、大丈夫です。僕は普通、それはね、僕も飲まないけど、旅行の時に、全部の日のお酒が飲みます。たくさんじゃないけど、朝から、夜まで、ビールを飲む。ちょっと、ラスベガスみたいな。僕の考え方が so many layers. You're trying to spend time abroad in other countries and see if you can settle outside of Canada. Oh, cool. That's a pretty fun idea. Yeah, just sort of try places out. Everywhere's got their own style and stuff.
それはだから2年ぐらい。
すみません。もう一本ください。
すごい日本語上手ですね。勉強したんですか？
親切すぎますけど、勉強しています。多分4年間、インターネットだけけど、
すごい。
実はランゲージエクスチェンジしました。そして時々ランゲージエクスチェンジの人に会いました。とても楽しかった。
そうなんですね。交換学で。あ
りがとうございます。バービーが好きですか？
バービーも好きです。好きですよ、可愛い。
その新しい映画は作ってる。
はい。バービーの映画、新しいの今作ってますか？公開？いい俳優とね、ライアン・ゴスリング俳優が知ってますか？彼はケンです。 はい、こんなケンになりそうですね。なんかで見たかもニュースでバービーの映画次でライアン・ゴズリングがバービーの彼氏のケンをやるんだって。新しい映画ハリウッドのバービー好きですか？ちょっとニット暑かったですよ。めっちゃ暑い。
僕の考え方は映画で、ライアン・ゴズリングの股間と見える。そしてありません。ケンドールのみたい。
そうですよね。
Did I study in Japanese in college or university? No, actually, just on the internet. Actually, Duolingo and language exchange apps where you like make an appointment to talk to somebody in Japan. I do that once a week, and I do Duolingo every day, and I study the kanji stuff every morning. But not like super, crazy regimen or anything. I only do Duolingo like 10 minutes a day. Oh, you feel bad you can't read Takajin's text? He said something else. He was saying he doesn't drink alcohol, so he can't give any recommendations. Takajin さんは英語も話せるですね。Takajin also speaks English as well, so he can understand. Takajin can understand your text. おいしいお酒がのところは楽しい人と出ますからね。そうだけどそれ一人の旅行はとても違うのがエクスペリエンスですね。 You found some good JLPT books. Oh, cool. I've never done any JLPT related stuff. I wanted to take the test, but they don't have it in LA. They only have the really difficult ones. 高人さんは話せませんですか？だけど、チャットで、時々、英語を、メッセージしますね。そう。Google トランスレーターと言いました。覚えています。すみません。But Takajin was saying that if you have delicious alcohol and food, like it's really fun to go to a place like this with friends. Like, it's just like a good experience. And I totally agree. Yeah, it's like there's different ways I guess you get to enjoy a place like this, and that's usually how I have experienced it. This is like a totally different kind of. すいません、自分に話しています。
あ、全然大丈夫ですよ。
で、これ大丈夫ですか？失礼にしたくないです。大
丈夫です。今のとこ大丈夫です。
ありがとうございます。They teach kanji in random order according to radical meaning. You need something that gives more gear to learning topics. I would really recommend an app called, I think I mentioned it, maybe not, I don't know if I mentioned it to you before, but I've definitely talked about it on the show a few times, like Wanikani, which really helps me. It is based on radical meaning, but as you keep going, you start to realize the logic of what they're teaching, and that's what I've used that for the last X amount of years. It's really been very helpful for me. ツール使ってます。分かった。だけど、田中さんは僕にトリックしましたね。ツールから英語を話せると思った。そのツールの使う方に上手ですね。
菊池なんとかっていう人が聞いてるときに、やらせじゃないけど、企画だと思うけど、メイジェイが入ってきて、レディーゴーを歌ってて、再生回数が850万回。
なんかたまに有名人が入ってきたみたいなのあるじゃないですか、タカとかも。あれは本当にあれなのかやらせなのか怪しいところですね。
宣伝にもなってるから収益よりも100万超えると収入ももらえていいのかね。1000万回とかいけます。
でもなんかその YouTuber の人に商品広告をお願いしたらやっぱ100万以上かかると思ってましたよ。安いって100万ぐらい。
何倍で500最低500とかね。そんだけの広告効果があるんだ。
楽しそうですね。そう思います。
逆にテレビがもう全然 CM
この後で多分
特に若者向けの広告だともういよいよスポンサー
昼間の時に多分もっと失礼じゃないけど夜の時に人がいたらバーにちょっと失礼な感じDuolingo is good. Wanikani you want a huge fan of because they don't give the Japanese or Chinese reading of each kanji. They do. You probably haven't. You might have stopped before they did, but basically they do it in a way. You have to think of the kanji in a different paradigm, where kanji are like emojis. Where I'm sorry if you already know this, but for anybody who's interested. Kanji are like emojis basically where there is a meaning to it even if you don't know the pronunciation. So they're trying to show you first the inherent meaning, almost like the Latin root word. Like, you know how in English we kind of inherently understand certain Latin root words just by knowing English, because those root words then turn into multiple words. And that's the same with the kanji, I guess. They're trying to teach you that first, and then they teach you the pronunciation and the meanings. If that makes any sense, I guess. The way I like to describe it is like, if you showed two emojis next to each other, and it was like a car and a car emoji and like the smoke plume emoji, you inherently know what that means, and you inherently know how to say what it is. It's like, oh, I'm driving fast, or I'm coming, you know, over, or whatever. You know, driving. But if you said, how do I say this in German, you wouldn't know how to pronounce it, but you'd know what it means. And that's the thing, is that like for a Chinese person speaking Japanese, they would know what it means, but they just don't know how to say it. Oh, the car and the fire. Yeah, that's maybe a little more of a. But yeah, you know what that means too. Yeah, same type of thing. Yeah, sorry to explain it to you. Sometimes I just go off and explain something, even if I like explaining things. It could be helpful for somebody else who's watching and not chatting, I guess. Thank you for humoring me.
断ったんだけど受けてよかったよね。あれのおかげでだってすごい一気に有名だと、それまであんまり有名じゃなかった。
まあちょこちょこ出て何でしたっけ？サブの人たちがいっぱい出てたやつ、脇役がいっぱい出るってやつ、あれにも出てたから一応有名っちゃ有名でしたけどね。
孤独のグルメの2番煎じの絶飯ロードってやつがあって、カメラを止めるのの主役の人がやってるんだけど、あの人もね、当時はお金がなくてラボホのバイトとかしてて大変だったらしいんだけど、やっぱりいろんな役もらえるとか
食べる予定ですか？この後でちょっとない。予定ないの旅行の方が好き。いろんな場所が、見つけられる。そんなことに。この後で友達からいろんなおすすめがある。多分その場所に行ってみます。
ハロウィン行こうと思っていたけど、ハロウィンはすぐだよ。ハロウィン参加したの？
場所をちょっと忘れた。多分ライブストリームで見ます。I was doing saying I'm okay with it. Maybe you can teach if you want to stay in Japan long term. Interesting. That's a big, for foreigners, I guess it's a big way to get a visa, because you can't just like live, I guess. Well, I guess in any country you can't just like live there without having a job, even if you're, because I'm already like a freelancer or whatever, but I don't think you can move somewhere with, not that I'm planning to move, but like I don't think you can move if you just have a freelance job. So I guess that would be like the big thing for people, is like they become English teachers in Japan.ちょっとわからないですね。高井さん。紅葉。それ多分。
あんまりライブでやってない。
カメラ。
あれの朝
黒の
歯飛ばしてみたけど、あれもまあ随分
ああ、わかった。10月だから、クール、わかった。
あ、そうだ。歌舞伎町の潰れたクラブ。
東京の中央にいるだから、ちょっと木が見えませんでしたけど、そう、多分公園に行きます。そんな、赤い木が綺麗ですね。ああ、分かってます。
すごい切った時は、
変更の色、
これからこれだから、
歯ですね。
すごいわって思ったけど、でもう伸びてるけど、まあ見慣れてしまった。
Oh yeah, Stoic saying that Japan has a lot of strict rules. Yeah, I have seen that because you have to kind of deal with some of that stuff when you're trying to get in, even for travel. You end up seeing some of those things. So ladies and gents, I'm going to call it here and I am going to keep exploring Golden GAI, but I don't think doing camera stuff in Gold, I feel a little uncomfortable doing the camera in Golden GAI because it makes me feel like I don't want to make people uncomfortable. People in a bar don't really like to be filmed, you know? So we'll call the show here. Of course, there's plenty more streams coming from Japan. We've been doing them all the time. Check the YouTube channel as well, everybody, if you want to see not only some episodes that I pre-record if there's no internet, but also any time you see like the gray like static or the stream cuts out, the local recording is on YouTube, so it'll be in higher res and also there's no cutouts. So if you ever miss something, you can always check that out. Stoic saying, at least my BA might be worth a work visa. Oh, a degree. There you go. You're thinking about Japan then? Hey, after that month of travel, you'll definitely have a feel for like whether you wanna, live over here or not. 日光とか最高ですよ。ああ、分かった。日光それ太陽の光ですか？日光。Ladies and gents, that's gonna do it. Thank you for joining. 皆さん、それがとても楽しかった。ゴールデン街に、カメラのことはちょっと、失礼な感じですね。それが多分終わる。そしていろんな、配信があるけど、多分夜の居酒屋かバーじゃない。だけど、あれストリームの問題が見たらいつもYouTube チェックして、その後でストリームの後でローカルレコーディングアップします。そしてありがとうございます。